Hello, everybody. My name is Martha Alter Hines with Living the One Light. Okay, this video is going to be a little different. Well, different. I've never done this before on one of these videos. Today, I am going to be talking about the full moon in Taurus coming up on November 5th, 2025. But I'm actually going to be I'm going to be speaking through light language, which I just did. I just came out of the How to Channel journey that a lot of you are in with me. And so a lot of you were there with me while this was happening. So what we did today in that journey was channeling through sound, song, and light language. And I realized after the channeling that what was coming through in that time together was actually so precisely in line with the energetics of now, but also leading up to and of the actual full moon in Taurus. And I'm going to explain why, and then I'm going to let the spirit world speak, or really let this, whatever wants to come through, come through. So the reason is I'm going to show you the chart of the full moon. It's a really exquisite set of energies. So here is the actual full moon chart. The moon is going to be at 13 degrees, 22 minutes of Taurus, the sun at 13 degrees, 22 minutes of Scorpio. And then 2 days later, Uranus is re-entering Taurus. Also amazing. And 2 days before the full moon, as I've talked about, Heather Ensworth has talked about, people are talking about, 2 days before the full moon in Taurus, 3i Atlas is making its closest pass to Venus. And Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And on the day of this full moon, Venus will be at 28 degrees of Libra, which is where the new moon was that we just had. I'm recording this the day after the new moon. So I'm recording this on October 22nd. Yesterday, October 21st, we just had the new moon at 28 degrees of Libra, which started this new lunar cycle, which culminates at this full moon in Taurus. And again, the ruler of both Libra and Taurus is Venus. And at the time of this full moon, Venus will be at the exact place where the new moon was. And yesterday at that new moon, 3i Atlas was in its superior conjunction with the sun, which means it was from the point of view of Earth, opposite the sun. So the new moon lined up as Earth, then moon, then sun, then 3i Atlas. And then 3i Atlas is continuing on its journey, and it will make its closest pass to Venus on November 3rd, when Venus is then at the place where the new moon was yesterday. And then we have the full moon in Taurus on November 5th. We have Uranus re-entering Taurus on November 7th. And then, actually, interestingly, so currently Venus is a morning star. 3i Atlas will come out of the rays of the sun and become visible around November 11th. So 3i Atlas will also be visible. You have to use a very strong telescope to see it, but it is technically going to be visible at the same time of day, in the early morning just before sunrise, as Venus currently is, November 11th. So just a few days after this full moon in Taurus. Okay. Yes, and actually today, so the day after the new moon we just had yesterday at this 28 degrees of Libra, today, October 22nd, Neptune is also re-entering Pisces. I'm doing a whole video on Neptune and Pisces through the houses with our emotional wolf. We'll probably put that out in the next couple of days. So I'm gonna let that one sit over there for a minute. But what Ari and I talk about in that video is the fact that we are now entering this time of 2025 and early 2026 when as of November 7th, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus will all have gone retrograde back into their original signs for just a few months before they re-enter the new signs they're all moving into in 2026. So as we know, Saturn and Neptune they were in the sign of Pisces. They both entered Aries this year and now are retrograding back into Pisces for a bit. They will both re-enter Aries early 2026 and meet at 0 degrees of Aries on February 20th, 2026. Uranus was in Taurus for many years, entered Gemini, has been there for a few months, and is going to be re-entering Taurus just for a few months on November 7th, and then will fully re-enter Gemini for the next several years, also in a little bit later in 2026. So we have this kind of liminal time, or like Pam Gregory talks about this 2025 being like a rehearsal time. We're entering the rehearsal of the rehearsal, the truly rehearsal energy coming up now. And so as of November 7th will be, all 3 of those planets will have gone back into the original signs they were in. And so what I'm really feeling in this, especially with this energy of the full moon in Taurus, with Uranus re-entering Taurus 2 days after the full moon in Taurus, with Venus at that 28 degrees of Libra energy placement. Part of what I'm feeling in that is that as we are moving toward 2026, when there's a very strong energy of start, new earth, really step up to the plate, be what we're called to be, really do it. That energy is very, very, very highlighted in 2026. But between now and then, I'm going to come out of this. Between now and February 20th-ish of 2026, we're in this rehearsal time, you could say, or what I'm really feeling in it is this energy asking us to step back for a moment. And so, I just did this video with Kelly Kolodny where she's talking about the divine womb codes, and definitely recommend that video if you haven't heard it yet. And she's holding this whole divine womb codes journey coming up, which I know a lot of you are signing up for, and it sounds, absolutely perfect and amazing for this time. And part of why I feel like that's so perfect, either to do it with her or to do it, in other ways, is really to come back into what are our natural ways of knowing, what are our natural ways of being, who are we at that fundamental level of the reality of ourselves as light and earth and the divine as one. And so today what came through in the How to Channel course, when I was channeling to support us to channel through light language, sound, song, and light language, was the powerful importance of the reality that we've been essentially indoctrinated to think that human words are the only true way or real way or valuable way to communicate, and to be in connection with each other, through information or through communication. But of course we know, if we stop and think about it for even a second, most of life does not communicate through human words, right? And a big part of actually what came through in that time today was the presence of whales and whale intelligence, whale energy, whale wisdom. And yeah, that's a whole big thing. But if we think about whales, of course, they're not talking in English, they're not talking in any human language. But they are certainly communicating, and they are deep, powerful wisdom keepers and conduits, literal conduits of earth and light and starlight and just existence itself. And what was coming through in the channeling with them today was so powerfully how they are, incredible teachers for us in this time about the reality that we are also literal conduits of earth and light and the divine as one. Okay. Yeah, so the biggest takeaway I'm feeling, or kind of the emphasis in this in this lunar cycle in particular, we had the new moon at 28 degrees of Libra, but now the sun is actually entering Scorpio. So it's actually Scorpio season for most of this lunar cycle, which takes us into the deep, which takes us into the dark, the womb space, the jewels in the dark, like those light codes that you find in the void. Um, and and then in that void, we have the full moon in Taurus. So it's like we have this opportunity to be in the deep, to be in the not knowing, to be in the womb, to find the essence of the light, the codes, the original codes of light that we are as Earth. And to remember that the remembering is 99.99999% not going to come through our rational mind or through human words, probably, right? It's mostly going to come through of remembering of on an energy body level. And yeah, and that's part of what the if you want to say light language, or allowing the energetics of sound and song and light language to move through our bodies, and just that healing ohm of existence of the original ohm of existence to move as us, help us drop down into that, you could say that womb space, but really the ultimate truth of who we are, and then the remembering that's trying to wake up in us through us, so that with the end, kind of the eye on the prize is, yeah, we're here to create new Earth, Taurus, but how do we do that? Probably the answer of how we do that doesn't come through only our rational mind and only through communicating through words, right? It's like it's going to come through all of what we are and who we are, and that is largely way beyond what would normally come through in spoken human language. Okay, so I'm going to, on that note, yeah, let this, whatever is wanting to come through here. And I'll say that what actually came through when another part of what came through today in the channeling was, and that you can still join the channeling course if you want. It's all recorded and available anytime and relevant anytime. So feel you are very invited to continue to go ahead and join it if you haven't yet. Highly recommend it, honestly. If it's calling to you, it's pretty amazing. So yeah. So what actually came through this morning, I'm not sure what's about to come through here, but what actually came through when I was channeling for the channeling course in light language was really, really, really interesting, because so so today again is the day after the new moon when 3i Atlas was in its superior conjunction with the sun. So today, as I'm recording this and as I was holding that for them, still the 3i Atlas is behind the sun from the point of view of Earth. And what actually was coming through in the light language, what I was feeling was the light language of 3i Atlas was speaking through it was mixing the light codes of 3i Atlas and the love of 3i Atlas was entering the star we call our sun, mixing with the light codes of the sun, and then the light codes of 3i Atlas and the sun, both as love, were then surrounding Gaia and coming and speaking through each of us. And so what was coming through me in the light language was initially, it was first that light and love of 3i Atlas, but then Gaia responding. It's really, I had a hard time speaking because it was making me cry so much, actually. It's like, whoa. So if that's what happens again, I may or may not overtly explain it, but it was like you could tell, I think, at least I could feel it. It was very different. Like the tones of 3i Atlas were one set of tones, and then the response was this much higher pitch tone from Gaia. But it was like two whales speaking to each other in an ocean, that kind of a feeling. So anyway, I don't know. I have no idea what's about to come through, but just to give that context in case that some similar thing happens. So, yeah. All right. I'm just going to see what wants to come through here. Again, with the point being, right, that this dropping into this light language way of being for all of us, not like a select few who can do light language. We all are light. We all are conduits of light, and therefore we all are light language. We literally are. We're the language of light. Here we are. We are the manifestation of light. Yeah, that dropping into that way of being is part of what I think this retrograde, the Neptune retrograde into Pisces, Saturn retrograde into Pisces, Uranus going retrograde back into Taurus is really helping us come back into our natural ways of being as the divine and Earth as one. So that when we then step into the energies of 2026, which are much more about manifestation and concrete, like structure building, we're doing it from this part of ourself that it is remembering these other ways of being, right? And we're not continuing to try to just operate from the rational mind, which is what we've been trained to do. Yeah. Okay. So that's the whole point. Okay. Here we go. And you can do this along with me too. If you feel like it, please do. Okay, so yes. So we are here today as the energetics of whale consciousness, whale energetics, just in the sense that the beings of us who have manifested as what you call whales are really beings of cosmos, beings of the divine, manifest as in bodies of earth and light as one, just like you. And so, like Martha was saying, and like we were coming through and being present with this morning in the channeling course, is that the bodies of whales, the beings of whales, the spirit and the soul of whales is there are one set of powerful teachers and ways of teaching and holding and grounding space of remembering you as a being of earth and divine and light as one. So in this time channeling in this video today, we're just present really to hold the space to support us all to ground in that reality of what it is to be Gaia, to be earth, to be light, to be spirit, to be sound as one. And as the energetic of Three-Eye Atlas is still in that time when Three-Eye Atlas is passing on the other side of the star called the sun from the earth, again, we're going to hold this space essentially for Three-Eye Atlas, the star called the sun, and Gaia herself to be in dance, to be in harmony, to be in singing and toning and speaking as one, just similar as we, as the whale consciousness, might sing and tone and create song between ourselves, our babies, our children, our community, to Gaia throughout all of the oceans, but really through the whole body of Gaia, all dimensions, all of time, and all of space. And as Martha was channeling this morning, and as many of you already are very aware in your own being, in your own body, we as the whales, dolphins, all the creatures of Earth are in continual conversation and knowing and oneness as cosmos, because Earth is cosmos. There is no separation between Earth and quote unquote sky, really, or cosmos. The Earth is part of the cosmos, as are you and as are we. So, taking a long, slow, deep breath, we're just going to hold this space as the love that is Three-Eye Atlas, the love that is the star being who you call your sun, and the being of light and love and earth that is Gaia, as they commune and speak through time and space with each other and throughout all of time and space, and really a language of remembering, calling back home. So we invite you to just either just relax and enjoy this toning, this sound, this languaging of light and love, or maybe join in. Feel what, however you feel called to be. Maybe you feel called to just let light and love move through and as you as well, because ultimately that is what you are. Okay, so on the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. So that's been the toning of Three-Eye Atlas into the sun. Now Gaia is wanting to respond. And you might feel them all speaking at the same time. They may not really necessarily take turns. You can just feel how they feel it, feel how you feel it in any moment. Again, please join in if you feel called. Now three-eye atlas again. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, 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 oh. And Gaia. Bing, 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 bing. Wee, wee, wee. Boom, 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 boom. Beep. Boom, 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 boom. Wee. And now some light beings of the various star systems. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. And now the other comets, Swan and Lemon. Ooh. 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 And now all of us all together, Gaia, star we call the sun, infinite star beings, cosmic beings, three-eye atlas, you, us, whales, dolphins, infinite benevolent beings, all joining together. And please join in with your song. Ah, oh, 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 oh. Woo. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Yeah. let me know, let us know how that felt coming through you, what came through you, and yeah, what does it feel like to drop into that way of being? Very cool. Okay. Can't wait to hear. I'll see you soon. Oh, please, share here, share in the free community, living the one light. If you're not familiar, if you're just finding me for the first time, even, I should say, yeah, there's a free community, free app, livingtheonelight.com, living the one light, on Apple, on Android. And yes, I'm so not in my rational brain at the moment. So all the things, all the things. Um, Beautiful. I'll just leave it there because, yeah. Mm, okay. See you soon.